Jewish Capital EPO1 from Rothschilds to Wall Street, and Silicon Valley History and Roots of Capital. Welcome. This is the first episode of a 5-part series on American Jewish capital. Today, we will trace the history and roots of this power, from the Rothschild family to the rise of Wall Street and Silicon Valley. For a long time, many people paid little attention to global geopolitics. However, observing major global conflicts such as the Russia-Ukraine war and the Israel-Gaza war, many have begun to realize a profound reality. Over the past 80 years, the world order has been deeply shaped by American Jewish financial networks, and the global mainstream media has been heavily influenced by these structures. Under this global dynamic, it is estimated that nearly 10 million casualties have occurred in major conflicts over the last 8 decades. Looking at major historical conflicts worldwide, the cumulative human toll is staggering. According to various global databases and research estimates, the figures across major modern wars are as follows. The Korean War resulted in nearly 3 million casualties. The Vietnam War saw over 3.5 million military and civilian deaths. The Arab-Israeli conflicts over 6 major wars claimed roughly 100,000 lives. The U.S. Iraq War led to an estimated 150,000 to over 500,000 casualties. Humanitarian crises and sanctions-driven famines caused millions of deaths worldwide. The Iran-Iraq War resulted in up to 1.5 million casualties. The ongoing Russia-Ukraine conflict has led to hundreds of thousands of military and civilian casualties, and the Israel-Gaza conflict continues to add tens of thousands to this devastating total. Altogether, these global conflicts account for over 11 million casualties. Some may view this perspective as controversial. However, analyzing the underlying financial and geopolitical structures behind global conflict is essential, because behind every major historical event, the true flow of money and power must eventually be examined. This series was created to explore the deep mechanics of this global financial network. Now, let us look at the historical roots of this power. To understand the reality of modern financial networks, we must begin with the Rothschild family in 18th century Europe. Starting in Frankfurt, Germany, this family did not just accumulate wealth. They constructed the foundational prototype of international banking. Mayer Amschel Rothschild, born in 1744, began his career in the Jewish ghetto of Frankfurt. He built his initial wealth through currency exchange, bond brokerage, and gold trading with European royalty. Mayer sent his 5 sons to London, Paris, Vienna, Naples, and Frankfurt, establishing Europe's first major multinational financial network. Through this system, they financed sovereign war debts, government bonds, and state treasuries. The key to their success was the unprecedented speed of information. The Rothschilds succeeded not just because of money, but because they controlled information faster than sovereign states. A famous example is the Battle of Waterloo in 1815. Having received news of the British victory before anyone else, the Rothschild network purchased British government bonds in bulk, generating immense returns overnight. Furthermore, they expanded their influence into politics and media. By lending capital to European monarchs, they acquired crucial state monopolies, including railway rights, mining concessions, and central banking privileges. They also funded publishing houses and scholars, shaping public discourse and academic frameworks. This network laid the groundwork for modern central banking systems across the globe. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, this financial capital migrated across the Atlantic to the United States. European financiers moved to America, establishing major investment institutions, such as Kuhn, Loeb and Company, Goldman Sachs, and Lehman Brothers. They did not merely operate banks. They played a central role in establishing the Federal Reserve in 1913 and shaping the Wall Street bond market. This migration transformed capital from a European institution into a core pillar of American global power. Immigration was not just a movement of people, but a transfer of capital, strategy, and institutional knowledge. Between the 1880s and 1920s, over 2 million Jewish immigrants arrived in the United States from Eastern and Central Europe. Among them were elite financiers and intellectuals, who quickly integrated into American commercial infrastructure, settling in major cities like New York and Chicago. They led the development of insurance, investment banking, and corporate finance. Kuhn, Loeb and Company raised capital for America's massive transcontinental railroads, while Goldman Sachs pioneered modern corporate underwriting and initial public offerings (IPOs). They provided long-term capital to industrial giants, securing deep influence over corporate governance. Simultaneously, their influence expanded into media, education, and culture. In 1896, Adolph Ochs purchased the New York Times, transforming it into a flagship of global journalism. Jewish scholars and legal experts also assumed key faculty positions at elite institutions such as Harvard, Columbia, and the University of Chicago. As a result, financial networks acquired intellectual and cultural authority. Alongside economic power, political alignment naturally followed. During the New Deal era, close ties were established with policymakers, shaping economic regulations and federal financial systems. World War II marked a monumental turning point in global history. As Europe lay in ruins, the United States emerged as the undisputed epicenter of global finance, military, and diplomacy. During this transition, international financial elites helped design the post-war institutional architecture. In the aftermath of the Holocaust, moral and political solidarity intensified globally. This led to strong bipartisan support in Washington for pro-Israel policies and international Jewish organizations. Key figures participated in shaping the Bretton Woods system, the Marshall Plan, and the United Nations. Economists and legal scholars contributed to the drafting of the UN Charter and the creation of the IMF, World Bank, and GATT. While framed as a global order to ensure peace, it simultaneously established a U.S.-led financial framework worldwide. Wall Street became the epicenter of this financial hegemony. Goldman Sachs routinely produced top Treasury officials and White House economic advisors. Lehman Brothers and Salomon Brothers pioneered the bond and derivatives markets, working closely with the Federal Reserve. Rothschilds' New York operations bridged traditional European networks with modern American markets. In 1948, the establishment of the State of Israel gained immense financial and political backing from American lobby networks. Organizations like AIPAC and ADL were formed, securing military aid, diplomatic backing, and strategic intelligence sharing. Today, this power extends far beyond traditional banking and political lobbying. It dominates both the heart of capitalism on Wall Street and the core of future technology in Silicon Valley. On Wall Street, firms like BlackRock, led by CEO Larry Fink, manage trillions in assets, acting as informal advisors to central banks and sovereign wealth funds globally. In Silicon Valley, major platforms that control global data, algorithms, and public opinion share similar ties. Alphabet, the parent company of Google, was co-founded by Sergey Brin. Meta was founded by Mark Zuckerberg, with early backing from venture capitalist Peter Thiel. Palantir Technologies provides core data analytics platforms to the U.S. Department of Defense and intelligence agencies. Furthermore, capital flows into frontier AI companies like OpenAI and Anthropic are heavily guided by these same financial networks. They do not merely generate profit, they shape the rules of the future. From AI ethics guidelines to ESG, investment standards and algorithmic content moderation, they operate a sophisticated system of governance under the banner of the free market. This brings us to a crucial conclusion. Capital has evolved beyond finance into a tool that shapes human thought, public narrative, and global behavior. On Wall Street, financial networks monitor global asset flows. In Silicon Valley, algorithms analyze data, searches, and human interactions. When capital and data merge, they form the ultimate foundation of modern global governance. Understanding this structure is essential for navigating the future of global geopolitics. In our next episode, we will examine the mechanics of media, political lobbying, and the military-industrial complex. If you found this video insightful, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you for watching.